Hey everybody, Peaceful Trey here with another video here today. Today I want to talk about becoming a husband, becoming a father before you even have a wife and before you have a son or a daughter. And what I mean by this, I am not personally a husband, I am not personally a father. But what I do know is when you follow Jesus Christ and you ask for these things, He will deliver them to you when the time is right. And oftentimes I used to pray for a wife. I used to constantly pray for a wife. I used to have ambitions of having a child as well, maybe even multiple children. But I wasn't doing anything to put myself in position to receive these things. And when I have received relationships in the past, I haven't been in the right place to maintain them or to be a man of God for this woman. Or maybe as well, when you're not in a position where you are a holy man, you can also run into women that are not holy women either. And it can put you down a path that the Lord does not want for you. And the Lord can make everything beautiful in the end. So if you end up marrying the wrong person or having kids with the wrong person, it doesn't mean it's the end all be all. There can still be beauty in it. But if you're in your single season right now and you're a single man or a single woman, but I'm mostly making this video for men, but women, you can listen to this as well. It is going to be so important and so crucial for you to develop into that father, develop into that mother, develop into that husband, develop into that wife before meeting that other person. And of course, there's going to be some things you just can't learn without the other person being there. And especially there are so many things that you just will not know without experience. And that's something that I will eventually walk myself into when I meet a partner and when I do eventually have children as well. And I think especially with the children thing, that one's a big one. Like, you will not understand what it's like to be a parent. I will not understand what it's like to be a parent until I become a parent. But it doesn't mean that you can't set yourself in a good direction to make it just a little bit smoother, just a little bit easier to maintain a healthy relationship and to actually be a good parent for your child and to actually be a good husband for your wife. Because if you receive things before you're ready for them, you are going to get a big wake-up call. And you might ruin the things that you receive. I've ruined things that I've received. I have. I've ruined opportunities that God's given me because I wasn't ready for it. And it's a big, big, big wake-up call. And the beautiful thing too is, even if you're in a relationship before you're ready for it and God ends up taking it away from you, you can still look at it as a beneficial thing in the grand scheme as long as you learn from it. Because if you don't learn from it, then you're just going to throw yourself in a similar situation again down the road. That is the biggest thing about failure. And this isn't even just if you're a Christian or biblical, but just in general. Failing is the best teacher. It is the best teacher. And sometimes it comes with a very tough lesson. And sometimes you're going to hurt people along the way. And that is unfortunate. And your goal is not to hurt people. At least I hope not. Especially if you're a holy person. But naturally, as humans, we do sometimes hurt other people. And we sometimes let other people down. And you will always let people down, you'll always hurt people, but when you pursue the Lord and when you try to live the way that the Lord wants you to live, you're going to be hurting people much less. And you're also going to know how to see when you do hurt people, and you're going to know how to apologize to those people, and you're going to know what to do to ask for forgiveness and the steps that you need to take to earn that forgiveness as well. So yeah, like, I just think the biggest thing that I really realized from being in one of my first relationships is it is not all fun and games. And especially when you move in with each other, like, you realize a lot of stuff about each other. And I'm not going to get into them, but I am going to get into my side of the fact that I was not husband material. I was not husband material at all whatsoever. I was not husband material at all. And not only that, I wasn't even good to myself. I wasn't even good to myself. So I'm most certainly not going to be great to another person either when I don't even value myself. So it's a learning lesson all the time. You know, relationships can be learning lessons, and there are many things that I personally wish I could go back and change about my first relationship, about myself personally. And I cannot change those things in that relationship anymore, which is unfortunate, but it's also okay because now I can change myself. I can move forward in a different direction, and I can go into this cocoon. You know, I'm a caterpillar, I'm going into a cocoon. And then when I'm getting back into the dating scene, I start to slowly break out of this cocoon. And right when I'm ready, I come out of that cocoon and blossom into this beautiful butterfly. And that is how I hope to be as a husband. And I think another big thing is not only being ready to be a husband, but also not needing it. Not needing to be in a relationship, not needing validation from another person. That is huge. That is so huge. I used to pray so much for a wife. Not only was I not ready to have a wife, not only was I not ready to receive a wife, but I also had a wife as an idol. I thought all my problems were going to be solved when I had a woman in my life. And honestly, it is the complete opposite. Because when you add on another person into your life, whether you're a male or a female, whether you're adding a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend into your life, somebody that is that significant of a partner to you, you are actually going to have problems added on to you, because then you're not going to be in this lifestyle where you're only worrying about yourself. You're going to be worrying about your partner a lot, and that goes for the man and the woman. And everybody is going to come with problems. Everybody's going to come with baggage. You're going to bring baggage to the relationship as well. And if you don't know how to manage your own baggage, and if you don't know how to not idolize a woman or a man, you could pick somebody that has a lot more baggage than other people, because everybody's going to have their problems. Everybody's going to have their pros and cons. Okay, fair enough. And there's nothing wrong with somebody not being perfect. But there has to be a line somewhere too, especially prior to marriage. While you're just in that dating stage, there has to be a line where you go, okay, I will not cross this line with that person. I will not allow them to treat me this certain way. I will not allow these things to happen. If these things do happen, I'm going to leave. Because if you idolize another person, if you put this person on a pedestal, and maybe you're in that honeymoon phase, and maybe it's going really great for a couple of months, but if you've put them on this pedestal, and especially if you start to have soul ties and soul attachments, which personally I've not dealt with that, at least not like the sexual soul ties. You can still have soul ties without, the closer you get to somebody in general, your souls are going to tie. But obviously there's sexual soul ties too, which is a whole nother subject matter, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't know much about it, to be honest. And where was I going? I kind of lost my track. But you just don't want to be in a relationship with somebody before you're ready. It's just true. It's so true, because if you are putting them on this pedestal and idolizing them, you're not going to know when to walk away from an abusive partner, or you're going to have a much more of a challenge walking away from that abusive partner. And I think a big thing too, and this is actually a beautiful way of looking at things, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the birds and the bees? What is it? What is the main purpose? Becoming one flesh, of course, but creation. Creating another human being with your partner. I think if you look at your partner when you're in the dating stage, whether you're dating a man or a woman, look at them and evaluate, would I approve of this person being my father or mother? Would I approve of their behavior if they were my father or mother? Because one day, if you end up having children with this person, they will be a father or mother to your child. So if they are not good to you, why would you expect them to be good to the children? And the children really don't have a choice. You do. Whether you're a male or a female watching this video, you have a choice whether to leave a person or not, unless you're unfortunately literally being held captive, which that's a whole different story, and I pray for you. But you have a choice to be with this person or not. It is so important to pick the right people, especially in a relationship like that. Especially in a relationship like that. But moving away from that, I so much want you, men and women, to be worthy of being a wife, to be worthy of being a husband. And that's the biggest thing. You cannot control how another person acts. You can control who you actually get married to. God will open up doors for us. This is a big thing about marriage too. God will open up doors for us. He will open up opportunities for us. But we do not have a set partner that we need to marry. Now, once we do get married and once we become one flesh with one person, then it is important to stay committed to that person, and that becomes your person. Unless something unfortunate happens to them, or unless they commit adultery against you and you have a valid reason to divorce them. But that becomes your person. But when you're in this dating stage, when you're just dating people, you can date whoever you want. God will open up doors for you, and you'll be able to realize who is from God and who isn't from God, because you'll just be able to tell by the way they act. Do they act like Jesus Christ? Do they fear God? Do they fear God? That is the biggest thing, because that might be even more important than loving the Lord at times, is fearing the Lord. Because if you do not fear God, if you do not fear the consequences of your actions, of the consequences of your sins, then you may sin against your partner and not really care about the repercussions as much. It's true. And that's why it's good to not be unequally yoked with somebody, especially in a romantic relationship. And that's why you gotta get your yoke right first. You gotta get your yoke right first, because that's a big thing for me, and that's something that I gotta be accountable for myself. Is I think for sure I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm proud of myself for that, but I don't even know if I'm ready for marriage right now. And I know for certain the first time that I really, really wanted to get married to somebody, I was not at all a godly man. not a godly man at all. And even now, even though I've been pursuing God a lot more and becoming a lot more of a holy man, I might still not be ready for that specific step. But yeah, I am going to end the video here. I hope that you all have a wonderful day. I hope y'all can get something from this message, and I look forward to making more videos. I'm gonna try to make a video today, because I think that's a good number, to make one video a day and make it about 10 to 20 minutes long. Yeah. Anyways, God bless y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Love ya. Amen.